Good evening and welcome to the Blueprint Explosive exclusive viewers. Delhi blast probe is picking up pace. A breakthrough is expected soon and a pan-India crackdown is underway. While more doctors have been taken into custody, there's a new car in the picture. Was Dr. Umar Nabi and his gang planning more attacks? What led to the explosion at the traffic signal? All of that is coming up for you over the next 30 minutes. But first, the top 5 developments in the case so far. Well, the top development is, of course, the Prime Minister has met those injured in the Delhi blast at the LNJP hospital and vowed that the conspirators will be brought to justice. The Prime Minister also has chaired a high-level CCS meeting this evening to review the situation and the ongoing investigation. Police are now searching for another vehicle linked to the suspects. All police stations, posts and border checkpoints across Delhi have been alerted to look out for a red Ford Ecosport after investigations reveal that the accused may have used a second car in addition to the I-20. Now, Delhi police have also detained close to a dozen suspects in a major operation. This is the first set of detentions made by the Delhi police since the blast. Sources say that those detained are directly or indirectly linked to the already arrested individuals and may have connections to the Al-Falah module. 2 more doctors were detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police, Dr. Tajamul and Dr. Zahoor, taking the total number of doctors in custody to 7. The hunt is now on for Dr. Nisarul Hassan, who's on the run. As per investigative sources, the person concerned has facilitated concealing of explosives. Now, viewers, did the prime suspect in the Delhi blast, Dr. Umar Nabi, use more than one car for attack? That's a big question that many have on their minds at this point of time. Let's quickly, in fact, show you some of the details of this particular vehicle. This is the Ford Ecosport. This is, of course, a representative image that we have here, but the registration number is not something that is imagined. This is the actual registration number of this particular car. The owner is Umar Nabi as per the records of the RTO. He is, of course, suspected to be the I-20 suicide bomber as well. This is a big development that is coming in. There's also the fact that it is registered at the Rajouri Garden RTO office. That's the official record that really has been put out as far as this vehicle is concerned. Hunt is underway in Delhi. It's also underway in Haryana as well as Uttar Pradesh, the entire national capital region surrounding New Delhi. Could it be potentially carrying explosives is another question that arises given what we've seen take place outside of the Red Fort. So what exactly can we expect as far as this car is concerned is a big question as well. These are the details as far as the red Ford Ecosport is concerned. The big question, viewers, is whether the prime suspect used more than one car for the attack. Let's take this across to our reporters. We have Anuj Mishra joining us. There's more breaking news coming in. Anuj Mishra and Bhavtosh Singh both are with us. Anuj, अब ये जो रेड इकोस्पोर्ट गाड़ी है उसके बारे में पुलिस का क्या कहना है? क्या उसमें भी एक्सप्लोजिव्स हो सकते हैं? और अगर ये उमर के नाम पर रजिस्टर्ड गाड़ी थी तो इस गाड़ी को इस वक्त कौन चला रहा है?
जी देखिए, जहां तक इस रेड इको स्पोर्ट्स कार की बात की जाए तो इसको लेकर बाकायदा हरियाणा पुलिस की तरफ से अलर्ट आया था, जिसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने इसकी जांच शुरू की। जाहिर तौर पर जो रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर था उसकी जब जांच की गई तो ये पता चला कि राजौरी गार्डन आरटीओ से इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ था और जो पता था वो सीलमपुर का पता था। लेकिन जब दिल्ली पुलिस की टीम जो है कल सीलमपुर यहां पर पहुंचती है तो पता चलता है कि एड्रेस कहीं ना कहीं फर्जी था, यानी साफ तौर पर फर्जी एड्रेस पर इसे खरीदा गया था। लेकिन जो उसमें नाम सामने आ रहा है वो उमर का नाम आ रहा है, उसी उमर का नाम आ रहा है जो कहीं ना कहीं दिल्ली ब्लास्ट में सबसे बड़ा सस्पेक्ट है। लेकिन सवाल यहाँ पे ये उठता है कि क्या ये वही डॉक्टर उमर था जिसने ये गाड़ी खरीदी थी? इसको लेकर फिलहाल जांच की जा रही है। लेकिन ये बड़ा अलर्ट है क्योंकि साफ तौर पर इस अलर्ट को लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस की कई टीमें जो हैं वो इस वक्त इस गाड़ी की तलाश कर रही हैं। सूत्रों की माने तो इस गाड़ी को उमर ने ही खरीदा था, लेकिन ये गाड़ी कहां है अब तक ये पता नहीं चल पाया है और इसी को लेकर फिलहाल जांच की जा रही है। जांच 2 पहलुओं पर की जा रही है। पहली कि आखिरकार
there's more breaking inputs coming in. There's more breaking inputs coming in. That top sources revealing that Dr. Umar, who is in fact the person who wanted to carry out the attack around 6 December. All right, this is the big development coming in. The suspicious car has been traced and has been seized. That's the latest update coming in, of course, as far as this Haryana police finding the red Ford Ecosport is concerned. This reportedly belongs to Umar Nabi from a farmhouse in Haryana's Khandavali village, is what we are told. This is the information. Bhavtosh is with us. Bhavtosh, this red Ecosport now being traced to a farmhouse as far as Haryana is concerned in a village called Khandavali. Take us through the details, Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav. In fact, this news is breaking on Times Now. The car, the suspicious red EcoSports car, which is 7-year-old, 11-month-old car, it has been traced. It has been traced in a farmhouse in village Khandavali, and this car is found. The searches in this car is going on. It was, as a colleague Anuj was telling us, that this car alert was sounded as soon as this bomb exploded here at Red Fort, and there was an alert that was given not only to Delhi police but also to Uttar Pradesh police, as well as to Rajasthan, and also to the neighboring districts of Haryana police. But the Haryana police and central intelligence agencies have now traced this car to a village in Haryana. Now, the car is there at a farmhouse. We don't exactly know whether there is explosives inside the car or whether it is a car that has been abandoned there.
This vehicle reached there. Many questions, Bhavtosh. We'll have to get those answers in. But there's some more breaking news coming in, more breaking inputs coming in, viewers. Top sources revealing that Dr. Umar, the demon in white robes who wanted to carry out an attack around 6 December to avenge the demolition of Babri Masjid. In fact, the plan fell apart after the arrest of his associates. Arrest of Dr. Muzammil had foiled the plans. Bhavtosh getting us more information on this. Bhavtosh, it is close to 6 December that they wanted to carry out this attack. It was clearly Babri Masjid that was in their minds when they were planning and plotting this entire exercise, but that completely fell through with the arrest of Dr. Muzammil.
Yes, that was the big plan of this entire Jaish-e-Mohammed module. They wanted to carry out a spectacular attack just before Babri Masjid, or to coincide with Babri Masjid, but that entire plan fell through primarily because of the fact that the main accused in this case, Dr. Adil, as well as Dr. Muzammil, were arrested, and then the entire module consisting of 8 others also were arrested, and it was virtually like a bowling alley that all main accused were being arrested and the explosives were being seized. And because everyone was being arrested, the questioning revealed that the big spectacular attack was to be coincided with the Babri Masjid demolition. The person who had to in fact become a suicide bomber was Dr. Omar, and he had to carry out that attack. Now, he in fact fled as soon as others were being arrested. As we reported yesterday also, he was the person who pressed the panic button. He in fact got completely hassled as others were being questioned, and he in fact came here. He parked his car at around 3:19 p.m. For nearly 3 hours he did not move. He was in touch with others, and then out of desperation he left the place. The huge explosion that happened is still being investigated, whether it is real, whether he exploded himself, or whether there is more to it. But yes, he did explode the car. The question is whether it was done deliberately or it was...
6 December was the date, ladies and gentlemen, that Bhavtosh is bringing us the details of when the entire plot was hatched for. That plot completely falling through due to our alert security forces. But there's more breaking updates coming in. Police has detained Dr. Suhail Ahmed Para for questioning over his alleged links with accused involved in the Delhi blast. That's the latest update coming in. Big developments coming in as far as the investigation are concerned. Right here, breaking exclusively on Times Now. More doctors under the scanner. In this case, of course, it is a doctor called Suhail Ahmed Para who has now been detained over his alleged links with accused involved in the Delhi blast. Let's quickly open this up and take it across. I'd like to thank Bhavtosh as well as Anuj for joining us with those updates. With us here in our studio is Mr. Sharda Prasad, former senior IPS officer and forensic expert. We have Major General Brajesh Kumar, the former DG of the military infrastructure, joining us here in our studio. Gentlemen, let me come to you first, and let me begin with you, Major General Brajesh Kumar. You know, what makes this car, something that is perhaps a desired vehicle to be used for explosives? What gives that? It has been used in the past. There's a Glasgow bombing. There have been several other bombings where vehicles such as the car have been used. In this particular case, there's another car we're talking about, a Ford Ecosport. So is it now becoming increasingly evident that these are a set of terrorists, the JM module, that wanted to perhaps use these vehicles to carry out attacks, in your view?
You see, the terrorism is actually very, very mind-boggling, which we are facing. In fact, we have been facing for the last number of decades, actually. And thanks to the government of India's policies and the security forces in particular, in Jammu and Kashmir, fighting terrorism from 1989 till today, we've been able to literally squeeze them out, actually. Not only that, our Home Minister has talked about how the Red Corridor Maoist insurgency has been curtailed. From a large number of districts, probably 70 to 80, we have come down to 2. Even the northeast, whether it is Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. So the India per se, Indian forces per se, security forces, technology people have had a good hand at capturing them. Now what has happened is a very new particular thing, that we found that the terrorism which has come into play is a different kind. Terrorists themselves are technically savvy. They are literate, they are doctors. But that actually happens, when you grow up the economic ladder. Yes. Initially, when thought terrorism is because of people are hungry, unemployed, that's actually not there. This actually hardcore, indoctrinated people. You talked of Glasgow, you talked of other bombing, all right there. Osama bin Laden, they are engineers. People who bombed 9/11, they're all highly technical people. So we are going to face these kinds of guys over here. And coming on to your question per se,
yes.
Car is a very useful commodity. It's hidden, it moves, it has a dicky, it has space. You can put things up. Now, we still do not know whether this car was a getaway car trying to do something, or they have something more sinister in mind. It will take a little while before we can reach some authentic conclusion. However, at this point of time, what laws we have made is something very good. But I would like to compliment the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Yes.
Especially that SP Chakravarti or somebody, he saw those posters coming up of Jaish-e-Mohammed somewhere, I think, mid-October. And now within a span of 20-25 days, they've been able to cobble up, with the assistance from Haryana police, Uttar Pradesh police, Gujarat police, and the Delhi police. This entire little thing is something to be amazed.
It has to be given where it's due. I agree with you. The Jammu and Kashmir police has perhaps at least started off the process which has averted, who knows, perhaps a much bigger disaster that citizens of Delhi and NCR could have actually faced. But before I come across to Mr. Sharda Prasad, I want to quickly go across the CCTV footage that has come in of the blast. And what I want to try and understand with both of you is, these are the 4 CCTV angles that we've been seeing, and there are at least 3 cameras that were in place. Of course, one was shut at that point of time, and these are the 3 angles. This is, of course, the place where in which you'll end up seeing that particular explosion coming in. We're going to show you, viewers, what really are the CCTV visuals that have come in from the Red Fort area. 4 CCTVs as well as 3 angles that shows you the precise moment of the blast. This 15-second clip was recorded by these surveillance cameras installed at Red Fort, and they show the exact moments before the blast. It was a regular Monday evening. It was around 6:50 p.m. There's slow-moving traffic. Lots of vehicles, auto rickshaws can also be seen. And amongst those is the I-20 car, white car in which Dr. Umar Nabi, suspected to be the suicide bomber, was present. At 6:51, the big explosion happens. Here's that exact moment where, in fact, the actual explosion takes place. Let's try and understand what we are talking about in terms of what the incidents are, what the facts are as far as investigators are telling us, and then, of course, this huge ball of fire that rips through the entire area, cutting several vehicles and, in fact, even several individuals who've been completely impacted by this blast. This has led to panic and chaos on ground, and therefore, of course, the big question is that what really was, we are told, for instance, Mr. Sharda Prasad, that there was about 80 kilograms of ammonia nitrate. We were also told that perhaps it was not packed to the most optimum, and, here was a person trying to get away. We're also given to understand that there were at least 2 residues of explosives found, one of which is now believed to be ammonium nitrate by the forensic experts there. Is the other explosive perhaps the fuel that is being explored? What are we looking at in terms of this blast? Describe this to our viewers.
That's correct. What we can see from the blast is that it is basically ammonium nitrate itself which is blasting, but ammonium nitrate by itself will not blast. By no condition it can blast. So it requires something more. What is that? That is the fuel oil. If fuel oil is around that, mixed together, then only it will blast. But I still believe that though this explosion has taken place, but it was an unintended explosion at that point of time for two reasons.
Right.
Firstly, so far we have not found the nails and other metal items.
Shrapnel.
Yes. Had they been there, then perhaps we would have had some that it is intentional blast. Second is to say that he is a suicide bomber and that's why there is a blast. The same effect could have been obtained had he not been in the car. So perhaps I feel
He would have used then a remote detonator, you're saying?
a remote and or many other things can be done. So my point is that perhaps they were trying to transport it. After that, what had happened earlier, they were in panic. They were trying to relocate the things and they were not able to decide where to go. That's why the entire day went into the car. The person started from morning and it was late in the evening, not late exactly, say around 6 or so. So they had not been able to really decide where to take the item.
I want to ask you on the question that you just mentioned. Now, as far as shrapnel is concerned, when we talk about blasts, what percentage of blasts do the shrapnel have? Is it there in 100% of the explosives that have been used in previous terror attacks? What percentage of it, just to make our viewers understand why you are attaching so much importance to the absence or the presence of shrapnel?
You see, when we are using ammonium nitrate only, then it will have ultimately the effect of burning. That things will get burnt. But if you want to cause injuries to the people, then the sharpnels have to be there. So if sharpnels are there, then large scale injuries will take place.
Let me bring in fact, Major General Brajesh Kumar as well. So your views when you see this huge fireball, what is it that you make of this? Does it sort of add up when you say there's about 80 kilograms of ammonium nitrate? And do you also believe that this is something that is accidental rather than something that was a pre-planned conspiracy? What is your view?
See, there are two things into it. Very difficult to gauge the amount of explosive per se. You talk about 80 kg. Well, it's an arbitrary number. Well, 80 kg possibly a car can carry that much and no more. That would be one way of looking at it. And secondly, this gentleman apparently is on the run. So from the place where his group was, and he had access to those explosives, he's put in his car and he actually doesn't know what to do. Did he have a target where he exploded? Difficult to say, but may not be. Otherwise, 7 o'clock in the evening, Monday evening, Jama Masjid, that area, huge amount of traffic. So you know, it can be a projectile, like a car. If the guy is sitting or not sitting, he can let go and there will be tamasha. That's
the counter argument to that is, why did he wait 3 hours? If he reached that location, the parking by around 4:30 as is being said, then why did he wait 3 hours to actually carry out this attack? Was it to wait for the peak hour traffic? Was it to wait for the shoppers?
It's a speculation.
These are the speculations.
Absolutely.
But there are multiple theories doing the rounds.
But the fact remains, you know, this guy must have panicked. See, that's not a target which is attacked. Target would have been something more substantial and viable. Though, of course, it cannot be huge target because the total explosive available itself is in the region of 3 ton. Now, 3 ton is not much when you see a country of our nation or even Delhi per se. What actually hit her, of course, Delhi, even a smaller little attack or explosion is likely to draw much more mileage for them, provided it succeeded.
Right.
So obviously it's probably a random target because it's not a worthwhile target which gives them oxygen. So all terror organizations flourish on publicity, and that publicity gives them support, both emotional, psychological and financial support, which is so important. And we also seen the way the government of India has cut the financial support. One way while J&K terrorism has been curtailed or controlled is all forms of money which is traveling in has been kept in check. Possibly the only way is, you know, the currencies which are the virtual currency which are now in vogue. That may be the only area where probably grey area per se. So I do, getting back to your question, I don't think, you know, this was the target. It was something in a hurry. It looks like at this point of time. But let events unfold because we have very little information and too many searching questions.
Mr. Sharda Prasad, I want to ask you another question. But I was there at the blast spot, you know, when that a little after it took place at around 8:30, I had reached that location. One of the things that we could see is that while, you know, the blast spread out, it, you know, impacted around 8 or 10 vehicles surrounding, you know, at least 9 dead that have been reported, and the explosion was such that there were body parts and metal parts that were flung about 150 meters away. Now, while that was the impact of the explosion, you know, vertically and horizontally, when you look at there was no crater that was found over there. What can we attribute to that in terms of this vehicle and the kind of blast that has taken place? How, as an explosive expert, do you see that?
You see, I would only say that explosion was not tightly packed. It was loose.
Okay.
And had it been tightly packed in a proper shape, much more injuries would have been caught.
Okay.
And it only led to a fire. Basically, explosion always will be there because nitrogen oxide will come out. So explosion will be there, and this had it been something else, some sharpness and all, much more injuries would have been caused.
Right.
So basically, it is unintended what had happened. They were trying to take it away somewhere and not knowing, perhaps those who are their controllers, they may not have been able to decide in that hurry that where to take it. So that's why it was taken out from wherever it was and kept on the road so that people will not be able to find out the vehicle.
And you would have also known that because there's a crackdown happening in Faridabad, that the vehicle would have been traced down, that perhaps the police were looking for this vehicle. And there's also that curious tweet of Jammu and Kashmir that you can run but you can't hide, which happens just about 40 minutes before this explosion takes place. So there's also that amount of psychological pressure building up on this individual that could have led to him conducting this blast, perhaps erroneously so.
That's why he was on the road, I would say.
That's why he was on the road.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yeah. You know, one more thing I just like to add. You know, there's a blast and there's an explosion. So they are two separate things altogether. Explosion is a lot more lethal. The explosive which is used is TNT, RDX, and a whole lot of things. Much stronger ones. They are actually detonated. They are not incendiary per se. It means they do not catch fire here. Now, in this particular case, it was possibly the nitroglycerine which caught fire. And obviously, in the cars, or in the milieu of cars around, so either there is a petrol there or compressed natural gas, all these are incendiary material. Therefore, when a blast has taken place, because of,
You're saying the CNG itself could have caused the blast.
Obviously.
The CNG, because there's a cylinder inside, it could have gotten heated up and that could have led to the explosion.
In fact, there's also a theory going around that it was not a properly modified CNG vehicle. So the CNG, the cylinder which was kept
an added kit,
was a non-standard variety, approved variety per se. So it could be anything. So petrol, diesel, CNG and fire, they make a heady mixture per se. So that's what probably the blast is not there which you're talking about.
Let's look at this I-20's drive of death. This is where it starts in Faridabad. This is where about 2,900 kilograms of ammonium nitrate were found. Then it crosses the Badarpur toll at around 8:13 a.m. It is later seen around 8:20 a.m. at the Okla industrial area, from where he goes on towards the DND and then crosses towards the Mayur Vihar area at around 8:20. Later, of course, he also goes to Connaught Place, is what we understand. At around 3:19 p.m. at the Red Fort parking is where it is spotted. This is what is very curious, because from 3:19 to 6:48, roughly 3.5 hours, it was inside the Red Fort parking, and then at 6:52 is when the explosion takes place. This is what is really the sequence of events that has happened. Now, the big question that is on many people's minds, and I want you to come in on this, Mr. Sharda Prasad, is the fact that this is roughly 80 kilos we're talking about. It might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but the point is with 3,000 kilograms, what do you think would have been the plot? Serial blasts in Delhi? Blasts across multiple cities? What really do you think? Or a series of blasts over a period of time? What would your
you see, it's very clear. One doesn't need 3,000 kgs of ammonium nitrate. One needs the smaller quantity mixed with fuel oil, mixed with something else, and then one explosion can be caused out of that. Similarly, there could be hundreds of such things which can be thought of. So I was thinking that it was meant for a large scale blast all over the country, or maybe at certain places, because we are not far away from December. We are just in November. December, there is an issue related to Babri Masjid and all.
Yes, and that's what our reporters have just brought in to us as well. Major and Brajesh Kumar, Mr. Sharda Prasad, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us on the broadcast and explaining to us what really the meaning of those visuals are, what could have happened on ground, and what are the circumstances that could have possibly led to this explosion. Thank you so much for our viewers for joining us on this special show as well.